And hi, it is Friday Brief with Coach Wendy. Are you excited? I'm very excited. And yes, today I'm wearing this amazing piece gifted to me. Even though I don't even know the name of the gifter. If you are, please reach out. Yes, I'm excited about today because yes, why your children are always wrong. I want to share this from a trauma lens for you. Why your children are always wrong. When you find yourself constantly correcting, criticizing, dismissing your child's thought, feeling, behavior, it might just be that you are actually trauma speaking. It's not about discipline, nor is it about structure. Come closer. Let me tell you. Number one, your unhealed childhood wound might be the problem. Now, many parents were raised in environments where they were not allowed to question authority, express emotions freely, or even make mistakes without being judged or shamed. So, as you became adults, you subconsciously replicate this environment with your own children. So, when your child pushes back a little, expresses frustration a little, acts out a little, it feels like defiance. But when you know what you're really feeling is your own inner child being triggered. Children are giving you a hard time. That's what you say. No, but your children are not giving you a hard time. They're just having a hard time connecting. Number two, perfection as protection. For trauma survivors, which most of us who are millennials are, by the way, especially those who experience emotional neglect and abuse. Pause. There's something I've heard in recent times when people say, I didn't go through anything. I'm not traumatized. I just have my life all figured out and all. Let me tell you something. Do you know that trauma is not just about what was done to you? Trauma is also about what was done to you, what was not done to you that was supposed to be done to you. Do you know that absence of fatherhood can cause you a level of trauma? Do you know that your parents not being there can cause you a level of trauma? We'll get in there when we begin to actually look at healing from childhood trauma cause in the in the academy in the month of May. And this is why I invite you to join us for that course. And the fee for that course is 30,500. But because you are already watching this today, you actually get to pay 20,500, which is the fee now for the early bird fee. This early bird fee ends on the 1st of May. Take advantage. Now, for trauma survivors, especially those who experience emotional neglect and abuse, perfectionism becomes a shield. So if a child's behavior is not perfect, it threatens the internal need for control and safety. So the child becomes wrong, not because they are really wrong, but because their imperfection stirs fear in you, the parent. Number three, they need to be right to feel safe. When it comes to in trauma impacted individuals, being wrong often felt dangerous growing up. So you are constantly in the place where you want to prove that you're right. So if you're wrong, it is a problem. You're going to be killed literally. You're going to be punished, except you don't want to die. Don't be wrong, right? So it could mean rejection, punishment, humiliation. So as adults, you unconsciously project this onto your children. They assert, you find yourself proving that you're more righteous as a way to feel secure, even at the cost of silencing your child's voice. So you project that perfectionism. So you project the infallibility narrative. I usually say that infallibility narrative in parenting is a false narrative. It doesn't exist. You're not infallible. That is not true. Number four, disconnection from emotional regulation. When a parent has unresolved trauma, you struggle with emotional regulation. You struggle with a child's meltdown. You struggle with curiosity. You struggle with boundary testing. Because when a child is testing boundary, it overwhelms you. Not because the child is out of control, but because the parent is deregulated. So in the parent's mind, if the child was just right, they wouldn't feel this way. So the child becomes the problem. So your problem becomes the child. So you are thinking about, meanwhile, you are the one that is deregulated. Now, how can you begin to deal with this where you constantly find that your children are wrong? Your children are constantly wrong. It is not true. Your children cannot always be wrong. There's something wrong somewhere. Think about it. Number one, I want you to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, is this about my child? Or is this something in me that hasn't healed? Number two, I want you to begin to reparent yourself. One of the things that we do in the Inner Circle program of the Intentional Parent Academy is what we call reparenting. You ask me what the Inner Circle is about. I say it is a place where you are actually able to reparent yourself. So you offer yourself the grace and the compassion you needed as a child. It makes you more likely to extend grace to yourself, to your child also. So go on a journey of reparenting. If you're not in a community in today's parenting, you're going to struggle. And that is the truth. Because parenting requires that you are in a space where you're learning. Sometimes parents get into the academy and they come to us and they say, I wish some of the things you're teaching now, I learned it many years ago. Sad reality. So offer yourself the grace. Reparent yourself. Put yourself through learning. Join the inner circle. The next cohort starts on the 1st of December 2025. You don't want to miss it. Because those things that are unhealed in your process will begin to actually be worked on. Recently, a parent shared how she was always scared about her husband constantly going into her daughter's room or even traveling with her daughter alone, with his daughter alone, because she felt that the husband might molest the daughter. Now, that is not because the man is bad or she has found something. It is because she was molested as a child. You know, when she shared that story, it gave me chills, but that's the truth. That's why we're not having debates online, where we're not saying, should the father, molest it? Should the father do this to a child? Should the father give their daughter of 2 years a birth? Should the father? And I'm wondering, why is the father being excluded? Because we have a lot of trauma that we're dealing with, near rape experiences, near, molestation experiences, even molestations in real life experiences. And some of them were not, done by the most significant male figure, but it was done by maybe a male figure that was close, an uncle, a brother, or something. So that gave you an illusion that every male figure that you see around you is a danger to your child. You need to heal. The problem is not the child. Neither is the problem the male figure around you. The problem is you. Because of your experiences, your brain describes every male figure as danger. That can be really bad. Seek support, therapy, coaching, trauma-informed parenting programs. That's what we provide. It can help you to understand your triggers and shift your responses. That's why the Healing from Childhood Trauma course is a must for every parent who is parenting today. That's my own conclusion. I've been in the parenting industry for almost a decade, and trust me, one thing is very, very, core. Every parent who was parented in a time need to actually go through this process. And it is very important for you to actually begin to do it. Then number 4, reframe your role. You are not here to control your children. You are here to guide them. You're not a controller. You don't lose authority by listening. You gain trust. You don't lose authority by listening. You gain trust. So remember, a child who always feels wrong will grow up afraid of themselves. But a parent who heals will create space for their children to thrive without shame. Stop getting your children to grow up and feel that they are constantly wrong. You do a disservice to the children that you're raising. I am particularly excited about the Healing from Childhood Trauma course. It usually airs once a year, and we usually have 2 of the 3 facilitators, professionals, 2 psychologists, world-renowned, and myself, putting into the systems to actually give you all that you need to be able to parent effectively. Don't miss it for anything. And remember to share this video with your family and your friends. And don't forget, your healing starts now. As you're watching this video, there's a reason why you actually got to see the video today. And because of that, your healing is already here. See you in class and see you again next Friday. My name is Wendy Ologe, and I'm called Africa's #1 parent coach. Scratch it. I'm your #1 parent coach, and I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. See ya.